Workers upgrading the Tower of London Chapel found something that made even archaeologists gasp: a tightly packed cluster of plague victims buried 700 years ago. The year is 2022, and construction crews are installing accessibility upgrades at the Tower of London's Chapel of St. Peter at Vincula. They're digging just 10 feet deep when their shovels hit something unexpected: human bones. Lots of them. This isn't just any graveyard. The Tower of London has witnessed over 900 years of executions, imprisonments, and death. Anne Boleyn, Catherine Howard, and Lady Jane Grey all met their end here before being buried in this very chapel. But what archaeologists found buried beneath the chapel floor was something entirely different. In a compact strip of ground beside the chapel, researchers uncovered the remains of more than 20 people crammed into an impossibly small space. This became the largest archaeological discovery at the Tower of London in 30 years. The skeletons weren't spread out like normal burials. They were packed together in a tight cluster, suggesting something urgent, something catastrophic had happened. Carbon dating placed these remains in the 14th century, right when Europe's deadliest pandemic was ravaging the continent. The Black Death arrived in London in 1348, spreading through the cramped medieval streets like wildfire. Medieval chronicles record a horrifying scene: more than 200 bodies carried to cemetery burial almost every day at the height of the outbreak. Even the Tower of London, with its thick walls and relative isolation, couldn't protect its inhabitants from the plague. The disease killed roughly 15% of London's entire population. Nearly 1 in 6 people dead within just 2 years. But here's what made archaeologists' blood run cold. Many of these tower victims appeared to be high-status individuals, buried in wooden coffins rather than simple shrouds, positioned inside what was once an earlier version of the chapel. These weren't peasants thrown into a pauper's grave. These were important people, possibly nobles, clergy, or tower officials who'd enjoyed wealth and privilege their entire lives. Yet the plague made no distinction between rich and poor. Among the remains, researchers found something extraordinary: 2 12th-century pots filled with charcoal, an exceptionally rare burial practice found only once before in all of England. This suggests some of these individuals might not have been English at all, but foreigners whose burial customs were honored even in death. The most chilling discovery came with the scientific analysis. Isotope testing on the teeth revealed these people hadn't lived at the tower long before dying. One individual showed evidence of childhood malnutrition despite their high-status burial, while another had enjoyed a rich diet of meat and fish before moving to the tower shortly before death. Now comes the moment of truth. DNA samples from these 700-year-old remains are being tested for traces of Yersinia pestis, the bacterium that causes bubonic plague. If found, it would provide definitive proof that these people died from the Black Death, adding their names to history's deadliest pandemic. The Tower of London has always been a place where the powerful met their end. But this mass grave reveals something more haunting: that even behind its fortress walls, death came for everyone when the plague arrived. These 20 souls buried hastily beneath what would become sacred ground represent just a fraction of the millions who perished when medieval Europe's world ended in darkness. Follow for more stories they never taught you.